King Harris may have just experienced one of the most terrifying moments of his life following his encounter with 50 Cent and the ensuing drama. According to reports, he was in a terrible car accident that might have been fatal. Today, we're delving into exclusive video, dissecting what transpired, examining his present state, and revealing the startling facts that the general public hasn't yet learned. American rapper and YouTuber Bryson Los Honpots, better known by his stage name NLE Choppa, was born in Memphis, Tennessee, on November 1, 2002. He has years of experience in the game. Millions of people adore him. He has platinum songs to his credit, and a video of him explaining his refusal to use a seatbelt in his own words is currently doing the rounds. Say shared a video of NLE Choppa outlining his position on seatbelts on March 12, 2026. Chopper makes the clear statement, "If you ever catch ___ wearing a seatbelt, 9 times out of 10, he ain't never been in no shit in that footage." He spoke from the bottom of his heart, without hesitation. Now, it's not only the statement that makes this clip so important. The context is what matters. An excellent Choppa has already been involved in an automobile accident. For him, this is not a hypothetical situation. This man smashed his Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat and continued to record a music video while his airbags were deployed all around him and his hand was covered in blood. After experiencing a crash, he decided not to buckle up. It was to never again buckle up. The internet did what it does in this section. The video became viral. Everyone had an opinion. A few individuals chuckled. A few were perplexed. This was regarded by some as one of the most careless remarks. It had been a while since they had heard a public figure speak. Additionally, others used NLE Choppa's prior crash as evidence that he doesn't learn from mistakes. We must go back in order to comprehend this. We must examine NLE Choppa's background, identity, and journey to the point where he is using the internet to convince millions of people that seatbelt use is only appropriate for those who have never experienced anything. Because a seatbelt is not the only issue here. This has to do with a pattern. This has to do with mindset. And this is about what happens when a powerful young man chooses to express an opinion that violates all safety regulations worldwide. His 2019 single, Flow, which climbed in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, helped him become well-known. It was that song that made him famous. Prior to that, he was a young Memphis boy making waves on SoundCloud and YouTube. He was a national act after Flow. In order to record his first studio album, Top Shotta, which hit in the top 10 of the US Billboard 200 and was backed by the top 40 singles Camelot and Walk Them Down with Roddy Ricch, Pot signed with Warner Records. His career was developing quickly. He was on a path that most rappers would only dream of. A top 10 album, many charting singles, cosigns from established stars. He was making progress, but there was always more going on behind all of that achievement. There was always a portion of NLE Choppa that disregarded tradition. He was never the kind to abide by regulations just because they were in place. He was never the kind to take counsel simply because it was given by an older or more seasoned person. He was stubborn. He acknowledged that he had been that way since he was a little child. Throughout his career, this stubbornness would manifest itself in a number of ways. His handling of his vehicle, his safety, and his public remarks regarding both were some of those methods. While recording the graphics for a typical first day out freestyle, the crash that most people remember occurred in 2021. The rapper posted a video of the aftermath of the collision on social media after crashing his opulent Hellcat car. This was not an isolated instance. This did not take place in private. This was captured on camera. This was uploaded. Additionally, the resulting material was incorporated into the music video. This is the uncut version, and it begins immediately after the rapper and his posy collided with a roadside tree. The destroyed Hellcat, which has all of its airbags deployed and is shredded in the front, acts as the backdrop for their continued dancing and rapping. That is not typical behavior. Most individuals don't do that after hitting a tree with their car. The majority of consumers give their insurance company a call. The majority of individuals visit the hospital. Most individuals take a seat on the curb and consider what has just transpired. NLE Choppa exited the vehicle, perched atop the damaged vehicle, and began to rap. You need the whole picture to understand how crazy the 2021 crash was. Potts was taken into custody on March 29, 2021, on suspicion of burglary, narcotics possession, and possession of a weapon. He had been juggling legal matters. There were several charges against him. And he did what many rappers do after getting out. He made a freestyle on his first day out. In hip-hop, it is a custom. After being imprisoned and released, you write a song about it. In the culture, it is a badge of honor. When the accident occurred, the rapper was reportedly filming a beatbox freestyle, and he was obviously not in the mood to let anything stop him. Consider that. He was in the midst of filming a music video. He continued driving after the automobile crashed rather than stopping. That's exactly what he did. And he concluded that using his SRT Hellcat to create a music video was the only thing he could do after it crashed. He had blood on his hand, even though the car was completely wrecked. The Hellcat's front end was completely damaged. NLE Choppa's response to the airbags going off was to continue filming. DJ Academics shared the video proof on Instagram, so we are aware of this. The general people learned about it in this way. The video was posted by DJ Academics and quickly appeared in the hip-hop media. The rapper is shown climbing out of the car and then somewhat strangely climbing aboard it in a YouTube video that the channel uploaded to Tube's social media. He did not tremble. He didn't feel afraid. He climbed onto a destroyed car like it was a stage prop after getting out of it. Although there isn't any footage of the collision, you can see NLE Choppa and entourage dancing and rapping to music that appears to be coming from the wrecked muscle car behind the Hellcat with the airbags deployed and a good deal of front-end damage. This is when it becomes much more revealing. Given that the entire music video features NLE Choppa performing donuts on the same street, it wouldn't be out of the question to presume that the two are connected in some way. Before the crash, he was making donuts. On a public road, he was burning rubber in a Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat when he crashed. It's quite possible that the automobile was intentionally crashed for the first day out music video. Some individuals conjectured that he intentionally damaged the car in order to satisfy his desires. Whether that is accurate or not, it speaks much about NLE Choppa and the reputation he has built. The part shot in front of the damaged car and with the rapper's injured hand is clearly visible if you watch the official music video on YouTube, which was released on April 1st. He failed to cut it out. He didn't act as though it never happened. He added the crash footage to the finished product and made it public. However, Choppa can ignore the $70,000 loss because he is 18 years old, has an estimated net worth of $3 million, and is covered with diamonds. He had enough money to buy a $70,000 automobile at the age of 18 and treat it like a small annoyance. That would be a financial disaster for the majority of people. It was Tuesday for NLE Choppa. Even the cameraman rushing up to see whether anyone was wounded immediately following the collision is shown at the end of the film. They continued to roll despite NLE Choppa cutting his hand. The cameraman bolted. After confirming that nobody was gravely injured, everyone resumed their jobs. That was the way of thinking. For NLE Choppa, this incident did not serve as a warning. It was satisfied. It was tangible. Furthermore, it appears from what he said about seatbelts years later that it validated his belief that he might crash and flee. Consequently, seatbelts were not required. Walking away from one crash does not guarantee that you will do the same for the next. Car safety features and airbags are made to cooperate. In order for the airbag to function effectively, the seat belt holds you in place. The airbag can injure people on its own if the seat belt is not used. These are not viewpoints. These are facts about engineering. NLE Choppa, however, was not considering engineering facts. He was reflecting on his experiences and the lessons they had given him. Now, NLE Choppa is not a man who opposes all types of self-care, which is why his seatbelt attitude is so peculiar. NLE Choppa actually underwent one of the most talked about lifestyle changes in modern hip-hop history. He declared on September 5th that he would quit singing about violence because he had more to say and wanted to awaken people and convey happiness. From a rapper whose career was founded on hard-hitting, street-oriented music, that is an important message. He deliberately chose to alter the message. Patat started a YouTube channel called NLE Choppa in August 2020, where he shared videos of his healthy, all-encompassing lifestyle, which included gardening and vegetarianism. This was not a minor issue. This was a complete rebranding. He transitioned from being one of the toughest young rappers in the business to making videos about growing his own food, meditation, and crystals. Rapper NLE Choppa of Shuffle Flow has recently adopted a better lifestyle, utilizing homemade tea regimes and meditation to help him feel good for the day. He was creating his own t-shirts. In the morning, he was meditating. He was discussing spiritual alignment, energy, and auras. From where he had begun, this was a total 180. From leading a vegan lifestyle to making decisions that are consistent with his holistic values, his spirituality penetrates all part of his life. He gave it his all. Additionally, NLE adheres to a rigorous vegan diet, consuming only fruits and vegetables. He stopped using any animal products. He was following what he called an alkaline diet based on Dr. Sebi's instructions, including raw fruits and drinking smoothies. In August 2020, he started living a vegan diet in an effort to become the man he needed to be for his daughter Clover and the man he wanted to be. He was transformed by his daughter. It was the birth of his first child that caused him to reconsider every aspect of his life. In numerous interviews, he has stated as much. "My daughter assisted me in changing my perspective on spirituality." Blue Magazine, he says. "I knew I had to make a lot of changes as soon as I found out I was expecting a child. During that process, I began to pray a lot about what I could do and how I could change, and after that, everything began to come together." He also started a wellness and health company. His dedication to curing the globe is embodied in the NLE Health and Wellness brand, which focuses on holistic healing, physical health, and mental health. Herbs, teas, seas, oils, and incense are the brand's main products. In fact, he launched a vegan food truck. The Red Hot rapper is preparing vegan dishes at his Memphis home 16 years later. His This Campy vegan food truck was born out of a desire last autumn. He was discussing more than just veganism. It was the foundation of his business. He was attempting to introduce plant-based cuisine to his Memphis neighborhood. NLE, whose real name is Bryson Lashen Potts, drastically altered his daily routine after experiencing mental health issues. These included cutting ties with some individuals and adopting a vegan diet, which eliminated animal items including dairy, meat, and eggs. He was candid about his issues with mental health. He talked about being at his lowest. He talked of coming to a point where he wondered if life was worthwhile. He created a new identity centered on spirituality, wellness, and health out of that darkness. This individual, then, meditates every morning. A man who consumes solely uncooked produce. A man who makes herbal supplements. A man who discusses holistic health and spiritual energy. A man who started the NLE Choppa YouTube channel. The same man then appears on television and claims that he doesn't use a seatbelt since doing so indicates that you have never experienced anything. People are debating about this discrepancy. How can you advocate for holistic health, wellness, and healing while ignoring one of the most fundamental safety precautions in the contemporary world? How come you give a damn about what you put into your body, but don't give a damn about what happens to your body in an automobile accident? These are legitimate questions that people are posing. NLE Choppa is more than just a stranger posting things online. He has a huge platform and is a public personality. His 2019 single Shot Flow, which climbed in the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100 and was certified platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, helped him become well-known. On social media, he has millions of followers. People listen to him when he speaks, and he has a youthful fan base. Because of this, the seatbelt statement is considerably more than a subjective viewpoint. NLE Choppa conveys a message to his audience when he claims he doesn't wear seatbelts and presents it as a sign of toughness and proof that he has experienced real-life events. He's telling the youth that seatbelts belong to the dead. He's telling his fans that buckling up is a sign of inexperience or weakness. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that seatbelts save about 15,000 lives annually in the U.S. Approximately half of passenger car occupants who perished in collisions in 2021 alone were not secured. These figures cannot be disputed. These figures come from thousands of crash investigations. The science underlying seatbelt use in autopsy reports is straightforward. Your car stops in an accident, but your body continues to move at the same pace as the vehicle. The seatbelt prevents your body from crashing into the dashboard or steering wheel or flying through the windscreen. The forces involved in even a moderately fast crash can be lethal if you are not wearing a seatbelt. NLE Choppa was not seriously hurt in his Hellcat crash. However, this does not negate the need for seatbelts. It indicates that he was fortunate, yet luck is not a safety precaution. Patats was added to XXL's 22-20 freshman class on August 11, 2020. In hip-hop, that is a noteworthy honor. He became one of the game's most promising new artists as a result. It also indicated that his audience was expanding quickly. More young people are listening to him and paying attention to what he says and does. Rapper NLE Choppa of Memphis took charge of his career and rose to the position of CEO at his own label, No Love Entertainment. He owns his own record label. He decides for himself. He and his audience are not separated by a corporate filter. The people are directly affected by what he says. His remarks are not being softened or disclaimed by a PR team. The last statement from his camp is that he does not wear seat belts. His second studio album, Cottonwood 2, 2023, was released after his fourth and fifth mixtapes, Dark to Light 2020 and Me vs. Me, 2022. Its lead hit, ___ Me Out, peaked in the top 30 of the Billboard Hot 100 after being remixed with Sexy Red. His songs were still in the charts. His fan base kept expanding, and the number of individuals who respect him and take his comments seriously rose with each new hit. Celebrity influence on safety behavior is a well-established problem. According to studies, young people are more likely to emulate the actions of their favorite musicians, even if those actions are clearly risky. This holds true for everything from drug use to driving behaviors. A certain portion of the audience will internalize a rapper with a platinum plaque statement that seat belts are not necessary. This does not imply that NLE Choppa is liable for all auto accidents involving drivers who are not wearing seat belts. However, it does indicate that his words have weight, and he doesn't seem to take that into account when he says things like this. He is reflecting on his personal experience. He crashed. He turned to leave. Consequently, those who have never experienced anything should wear seat belts. His reasoning is faulty. Can't is not processed by my mindset. The boardroom was informed by Choppa. I've always been a little stubborn as a child because of this. I simply believe that if you can think it, you can do it. Thus, I never really got used to the word can't. In certain aspects of his life, his stubbornness has been beneficial. He was able to establish a career because of it. When others believed rappers couldn't accomplish that, it encouraged him to change his focus to a wellness brand. In a field where artists are under pressure to give up their rights, it helped him maintain his independence. However, that same stubbornness turns into a liability when it comes to seat belts and auto safety. Being bold in business is not the same as being careless with your body. Refusing to accept restrictions on your aspirations is not the same as refusing to acknowledge fundamental physics. Furthermore, it appears that NLE Choppa is unaware of this distinction. As his YouTube channel, Awaken Choppa, discusses topics like meditation, manifestation, and well-being, fans will be aware that NLE Choppa has been on a spiritual path for a considerable amount of time. He is known to his fans as the rapper who is health-conscious. He is known among them as the person who talks about healing. Additionally, it is difficult to overcome the cognitive dissonance caused by that guy's assertion that seat belts are useless. What does this mean for us now? In 2021, NLE Choppa's Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat crashed. In any case, it appears that this specific Hellcat is a write-off. The vehicle was completely wrecked. With a wound on his hand, he left. Years later, he appeared on camera to explain why he doesn't wear seatbelts since, in his opinion, those who do had not actually been in danger. He had transformed the wreckage into a music video. On March 12, 2026, Cease posted a video that prompted instantaneous responses on the internet. He was quoted, ridiculed, worried, and unavoidably agreed with by some. The final section is crucial because for every individual who watched the video and believed NLE Choppa was incorrect, there is someone out there, likely young, impressionable, and a fan who thought he made a valid point. The next time they go in a car, that person might not buckle up, and they might lose their lives as a result of that choice. Being preachy is not the point here. Telling NLE Choppa how to live his life is not the point of this. He is an adult. He is capable of making his own decisions. However, making such a statement on a platform of the magnitude of his is not merely a matter of personal preference. You are endorsing a deadly behavior in public. Let's review the facts once more. In March 2021, NLE Choppa was taken into custody. According to reports, he was released after posting a $2,100 bond. He left. The rapper crashed his fancy Hellcat car while recording the visual for a typical first day out freestyle. He posted a video of the collision's aftermath on social media. While recording the video for the freestyle, he smashed his automobile. He continued to record. He made the video public. The whole situation doesn't appear to affect any of them. The videographer continued to record, but no one in his immediate vicinity stopped and suggested, maybe this was a bad idea. The group continued to dance. The song continued to play. One aspect of the issue is the absence of pushback. You are frequently surrounded by folks who won't say no to you if you are a young, popular rapper. People that rely on your success for their livelihood are all around you. Additionally, those folks won't advise you to buckle up. They won't order you to quit making donuts on a public street in a Hellcat. If you say anything careless on camera at an arbitrary time, they won't challenge you. Pac claimed that his time spent in a juvenile correctional facility inspired him to behave better. He claimed that being incarcerated was enlightening and helpful in an episode of his YouTube series, The Rise of NLE Choppa. He has demonstrated throughout his life that he is able to draw lessons from challenging situations. The experience of juvenile detention served as a warning. His unborn son's death served as a wake-up call. He and his ex-girlfriend Marissa revealed in 2022 that their kid, 7, had died as a result of a miscarriage. This may have had an impact on his choice to become more spiritual and balanced. His nutrition was altered. He shifted his perspective. His music was altered. He established a wellness company. He started a food truck. He began to meditate. He began discussing God, energy, and healing. Those changes were all the result of suffering. Nevertheless, he has not altered his position on seatbelts. He has intensified his efforts. NLE Choppa's music and artistic endeavors have been impacted by his veganism, which has improved his creativity, mental clarity, and sense of purpose. He attributes his newfound clarity and purpose to his lifestyle adjustments. He attributes his improved mental health to becoming vegan. He attributes his sense of groundedness to spirituality. However, the simple act of buckling up when he gets in a car has not received any of that clarity. And that's what people are all about. Each of us is a contradiction. NLE Choppa is capable of making careless decisions while believing in healing. He can disregard safety while still being concerned about his health. In some situations, he may be thoughtful, but in others, he may be reckless. Human nature is like that. In every aspect of their lives, no one is flawlessly constant. However, being inconsistent in private is not the same as being inconsistent in public. NLE Choppa decided to share his seatbelt take with the world as millions of people were watching. He decided to present it as experience-based advice. He made the decision to portray it as if not buckling up is a sign of authenticity. And the repercussions of that decision go beyond his physical body. The 2021 Hellcat crash was a sight. It was enjoyable. It was the kind of video that goes viral and sparks conversation. However, that footage would not have been satisfactory if NLE Choppa had been traveling more quickly, if the angle of collision had been different, or if he had been thrown from the car for failing to buckle up. In a tragedy, it would have served as proof. Once, he was fortunate. And he developed the idea that luck is all you need by using that good fortune. Ultimately, NLE Choppa's remarks regarding seatbelts shed light on the discrepancy between behavior and knowledge. You can undertake something even when you know it's risky. You can reject something even when you know it saves lives. You can make decisions that endanger your life while building a whole brand around wellness and health. Whether NLE Choppa is aware that seatbelts save lives is not the question. Is it important to him to know that? The answer seems to be no, based on what he said on camera. And that's where this story currently stands. A rapper who made it through an accident. A rapper with a wellness enterprise. A rapper who won't buckle up. And millions more youths are observing, listening, and making their own decisions on what to do the next time they ride in a car. The facts are what they are. The information is what it is. Lives are saved by seatbelts. NLE Choppa doesn't agree. Someone will have to make a decision midway between those two realities. I hope it's the correct